Something that I've been asked quite a few times is, why is it called Polkadot Market and not, say, Dot Trader or Dot Finance or something else? So for Dot Trader, the first thing that would come to mind would be ETH Trader or ETH Trader, if that's your preferred pronunciation. I wanted something a bit more original, something where people couldn't say that we just copied the Ethereum ecosystem. So basically, that wasn't a good starter. On the word trader, in addition to this idea of being a copycat, is that I don't see myself as a trader, at least in the sense of being like a day trader. Anything which is, say, only a couple of weeks or a couple of months is probably too short term for me. So I didn't really want to put too much emphasis on that as an idea. Of course, if people are at that end of the spectrum of trading, that's fine. I prefer to be longer term myself. So I wanted to have a word which said neither long-term investment nor short-term trading, but something in between. And then on the side of it, should it be finance or not finance? I just thought that the word finance conjures up too many ideas or too many feelings of the old world, old TradFi, traditional finance. Of course, now we have DeFi, but whenever I set up the Reddit back in 2017, DeFi wasn't as much of a thing. I can't even remember if we used the term DeFi. Maybe we did. But I think back then there was more of a feeling that finance was certainly more kind of like the old world of finance, that people kind of have bad, memories of, say, people in suits in banks and central banks, etc. I mostly wanted to avoid it. I didn't think there would be a good connotation of the word finance whenever I set up the Reddit. So those words basically had to be thrown out. A market, on the other hand, I think is a much more neutral word, but you do have the financial markets, so we can cover this idea of finance. And in a marketplace, people are trading or transacting. So you could fairly cover traders. And if it's a market, then it's basically just people transacting for whatever reason. So they could also be investors. And that's why I preferred the word market over either trader or finance. And then, of course, there's the part which is dot or Polkadot. And some people pushed me to have, say, dot trader. Why don't we start a new Reddit and call it dot something? But here's the thing. The idea for me was never really about dot. I was never sure if dot would be a good investment. Obviously, now it's gone up like 150 times since the ICO. I didn't know that would be the case. I actually thought that dot would do okay. But I actually thought that most of the returns would be in the parachains. And so we don't really have one token that we're interested in as an ecosystem. We have multiple tokens that we're interested in. Of course, back then we didn't know about Kusama. We had some ideas of Kusama in the water cooler from Gavin back in 2017, but he didn't call it Kusama back then. And he didn't even say exactly what it was. It was just more that he understood that there was a problem, and one where you needed an incentivized network with real value in order to, I don't want to say test because it gives a particular type of connotation, but you could look at it as, well, we call it a canary network. So that's a little bit of history there for how Kusama fits in. It has been in Gavin's mind for quite a few years as to how it might, fit in, except it wasn't fully formed as I remember it. So there's at least two tokens, and that's why I don't want to really call it dot. And I think as time goes on, people will probably realize or hopefully appreciate that calling it something more generic, I know it's only a few letters more, a difference between dot and Polkadot, but I think that extra breadth in the name will be sort of more sensible going forward, that we have an ecosystem of multiple tokens. And that's why it is Polkadot Market and not dot trader or dot finance. Just while I have your attention, let me just remind you about the Reddit, which was, really the starting point. So the start date was July 29th back in 2017. So we're almost 4 years old now. We have a little more than 5,200 members now. I think we're close to 5,300. We have a website, although I haven't really been keeping it up to date. It was supposed to be a blog, but things happen. It is almost as old as the Reddit, but a couple of months shy. If people want to write a blog for the Polkadot ecosystem, particularly around sort of trading and investment, please reach out. We could probably work something out, and don't get scared away. Just write something and let's see where it goes. It doesn't need to be perfect first time round. We also have a Discord, and if I'm honest, there's sometimes even better ideas exchanged on the Discord than there is on Reddit. Discord is maybe where things are a little bit rough and ready, and where we chat about the ideas to see what we think is the right idea, shall we say. I know you can do this on Reddit too, of course you can, but somehow in real time with back and forth can be a lot of fun. And I would actually really encourage you to check out the Discord if you haven't. We definitely have less members here, which is why I'm keen to kind of push the Discord a bit more. Lastly, there is a Twitter. I don't really use it so much. It's less than 100 followers, as you can see. But from time to time, I jump on the account and I retweet or like or say something which is related to the ecosystem. Obviously, feel free to follow. If you have any ideas for what we could do better, drop them in the comments here of YouTube, or come and find me on probably Discord or perhaps on Reddit. You can give me some ideas. Obviously, I only have so much time in my day, so I can't make this the perfect community with all of these great things and all of these great ideas that people can come up with. But I'm open and willing to listen to what people suggest. So anyway, I don't want to go on much longer. Hopefully you now understand what my thought process was. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully you appreciate why it's the way it is. And yeah, I greatly encourage you to come and join the community, to join the various places, particularly Reddit and even more so Discord. And see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.